Hello, darlings. It's your favorite ghoul friend, Elvira, here to whisper some sweet nothings into your ear. But these aren't love stories. Oh no. These are tales for when the sun dies and the moon hangs fat and orange in the sky. Halloween night, a time when the veil between our world and others is thin. You think it's just about candy and costumes, don't you? You think those little monsters running from door to door are just your neighbor's kids. You believe the shadows are just playing tricks on your eyes, that the chill running down your spine is just the autumn wind. Tonight, my little horrors, we're going to peel back the curtain. We're going to look past the plastic skeletons and fake cobwebs. We're going to talk about what really happens out there in the dark. These aren't just spooky stories I made up to give you a fright. These are whispers carried on the wind, things that happened in quiet neighborhoods just like yours, to kids just like the ones you know. So, snuggle up, turn the lights down low, and listen close, because the rustling leaves outside your window might be trying to tell you something. Every year, children put on their masks, grab their plastic pumpkins, and venture into the night. They knock on the doors of strangers, their voices a happy chorus of trick or treat. They trust that behind every door is a friendly face and a bowl of sweets. But what if that trust is misplaced? What if one of those doors opens to something else entirely? Something that isn't playing a game? Our first story is about two brothers, Leo and Sam. Leo was 10. He thought he was too old for trick-or-treating. Sam was only 7. His eyes were wide with excitement. Sam was dressed as a tiny vampire, a plastic cape, fake teeth. Leo was a reluctant werewolf, a furry mask he kept pushing up onto his forehead. Their street was full of life. Jack-o'-lanterns grinned from every porch. Witches, superheroes. Kids running, candy bags heavy. They went from house to house, bags slowly filling, chocolates, lollipops.
"Trick or treat," mumbled Trick or Treat.
Bright, friendly houses with laughing adults and big bowls of candy. Quiet houses where an old person slowly opened the door and dropped one small candy into their bags. They reached the end of the street and saw one last house. It was dark, completely black while others were lit.
"Let's skip it."
No one's home. The house looked empty and sad, peeling paint, overgrown weeds in the garden, a house kids dared each other to run past. Sam shook his head. He pointed a small, determined finger. Narrator, Vo. The door creaked open just a little bit. Narrator, Vo. We have to go to every house, that's the rule. Narrator, Vo. Leo sighed. He didn't want to go, but didn't want to seem a coward. Narrator, Vo. They walked up the cracked, broken path. The air felt colder as they neared. Narrator, Vio. No decorations. Narrator, Vo. No pumpkin. Narrator, Vo. No welcome mat. Narrator, Vo. The house seemed to be holding its breath. Narrator, Vo. Sam reached up and knocked on the heavy wooden door. The knock rang in the sudden silence. Narrator, Vo. They waited. Narrator, Vo. Nothing.
Narrator, Vo. Leo grabbed Sam's shoulder. "See, let's go!"
Narrator, Vo. As they turned, a sound came from inside. Narrator, Vo. A slow, heavy scraping. The doorknob began to turn. Narrator, Vo. A thin slice of darkness appeared. Narrator, Vo. No light came from inside the house. Narrator, Vo. An old woman stood in the opening. She was very thin, and her face was like a wrinkled piece of paper. Narrator, Vo. Her eyes were hidden in the shadows, but the boys could feel her looking at them. Narrator, Vo. She didn't say hello. She just stood there, silent and still, holding the door. Narrator, Vo. Sam, brave little Sam, held up his bag.
Narrator, Vo. "Trick or treat?" he asked, his voice a little shaky now.
Narrator, Vo. The woman didn't move for a long moment. The silence stretched on, making Leo's skin crawl with unease. Narrator, Vo. Then the woman reached out a bony hand. Narrator, Vo. But she wasn't holding any candy. Narrator, Vo. She was holding 2 small old-fashioned toys. Narrator, Vo. One was a little wooden car, its red paint chipped and faded. Narrator, Vo. The other was a small cloth doll with button eyes. Narrator, Vo. She held them out to the boys. Our next story comes from a quiet suburban town, the kind with neat lawns and friendly neighbors. It was Halloween, and a young woman named Clara was handing out candy. She loved Halloween. She decorated her porch with smiling ghosts and friendly-looking spiders. She sat on her front step with a big bowl of candy, enjoying the parade of adorable little monsters and princesses. The evening was starting to wind down. Most of the older kids had finished, and now only the youngest trick-or-treaters were still out with their parents. The air was crisp and cool, a perfect autumn night. As the last group of parents and toddlers wandered off down the street, Clara thought the night was over. She was about to go inside when she saw him, a small child, standing all alone at the end of her driveway. He was dressed as a ghost, in a simple white sheet with 2 holes cut out for eyes. He wasn't very big, maybe 5 or 6 years old. He was just standing there, perfectly still, his small shape almost glowing in the dim light from the street lamp. He looked so lonely, standing there by himself. Clara smiled warmly.
Hey there, are you lost?
The little ghost didn't answer. He just took a slow step forward, then another. He walked up her path and stopped right in front of her. Through the eye holes in the sheet, she couldn't see his eyes, only darkness. It was a little strange, but she just assumed he was shy. Many of the younger kids were.
Did your parents go on ahead?
"Where is your mommy?" Clara asked softly. "Let's go find her. Is she at the next house?" The little ghost didn't speak. He turned and pointed a small, sheet-covered finger down the street. He pointed toward the park at the end of the block. The park was dark and empty now. The swings were still. The slides were shrouded in shadow, not a place where parents would be waiting. Clara felt a knot of worry in her stomach. Why would he point there? Maybe his family lived on the other side of the park. "Okay," Clara said, trying to sound cheerful. "Let's go that way." She started to walk down her driveway, expecting the little boy beside her. He didn't move. She turned back, saw him in the same spot, head tilted. He slowly shook his head side to side. He wasn't telling her to go. He was trying to tell her something about the park. A chill crept up Clara's spine. Something was very wrong. She stood confused and a little scared. The street was completely empty now. The neighboring house lights were going out. It was just her and the silent little ghost. "What is it?" she whispered. "What's in the park?" The ghost raised his arm. He pointed at himself. Then he pointed back at the park. Clara's heart pounded. A sudden, horrible understanding dawned. It wasn't a costume. She remembered the news from the year before. A 5-year-old had wandered away during the town's Halloween festival in the park. He'd been wearing a simple white sheet his mother had made. They searched for him for days. They never found him. Our final tale, my dears, is about a group of 4 friends, Maya, Ben, Chloe, Noah. They were 13, right on the edge of being too cool for trick-or-treating, but still too young to give up on free candy. They had a mission this year. Their goal was to find the best candy in the entire neighborhood. They had heard rumors about a new family that had moved into the old Miller house on Chestnut Lane. The story going around school was that this family gave out full-sized candy bars. Not just any candy bars, but expensive imported chocolate bars. The friends made their way through the neighborhood, their bags getting heavier with the usual collection of small candies. They were saving Chestnut Lane for last. As they got closer, they talked excitedly about the legendary candy. The Miller house had been empty for years, so it was exciting to see it lit up. It was decorated beautifully, with dozens of glowing pumpkins lining the driveway and ghostly figures hanging from the trees. It looked like the most welcoming house on the street, a perfect beacon of Halloween spirit. It looked almost too perfect. When they finally arrived, they saw other kids leaving the house with huge smiles on their faces, holding giant chocolate bars. The rumors were true. The 4 friends hurried up to the door. The 4 friends gathered under a streetlight, a few houses away, ready to enjoy their incredible reward. They looked like they belonged on a television commercial.
Happy Halloween, you've come to the right place for the good stuff.
The man held out a huge silver bowl filled to the brim with the most amazing-looking candy bars they had ever seen. Each of the friends took one of the large, beautifully wrapped bars. Maya, Ben, Chloe, Noah. The wrappers were shiny and colorful, with elegant writing they didn't recognize.
Thank you so much.
They were all thrilled. This was the best Halloween ever.
You're so very welcome.
We're so happy to have so many new friends in the neighborhood. We hope you enjoy our special family recipe.
The friends thanked them again and ran off, eager to try their prize. It was shaped like a small sleeping child, wrapped in a blanket of chocolate. They all took a big bite at the same time. As they finished, a strange feeling came over them. They felt sleepy. They were carrying 4 large empty bags. And so the candy is eaten, the costumes are put away, the jack-o'-lanterns burn out. Another Halloween night comes to a close. The streets grow quiet again and the world returns to normal, or does it? For Leo and Sam, home is now just an old photograph. For Clara, the sight of a child in a simple ghost costume will forever bring a freezing chill. For the parents of Maya, for the parents of Ben, for the parents of Chloe, for the parents of Noah, the masks have come off, darlings, and the true faces underneath are not always friendly. You see, Halloween is a night of transformation, a night when things are not what they seem. A dark house might not be empty. A lonely child might not be lost. The sweetest treat might hide the bitterest poison. We tell ourselves they are just stories, don't we? We laugh at the jump scares. We laugh at the spooky decorations. We reassure ourselves that the real world is safe, that the monsters are all pretend. We believe that when we lock our doors, the darkness stays outside. But the line between the stories and the truth can be thinner than a spider's web. Every town has a house that everyone avoids. Every park has its sad stories. Every neighborhood has its secrets. These tales I've shared with you are just a few whispers from the shadows. Reminders that on this one night of the year, the rules are different. The doors that open are not always the ones you expect, and the things that walk in the night are not always in costume. Unpleasant dreams.